Yo, what's up, everybody? It's the Birdman underscore 951 special guest today, and I appreciate him taking the time, even and it's game day. So, I appreciate J Tuck. I know you got your thing going on, lots to do. I see you. I see your Instagram. I see your Twitter. So, I know you're
Yeah,
out
man,
there
gotta stay
doing.
busy, man.
Yeah. So, every day's a blessed day. So,
Facts.
um, I just want to give you a shout out for doing your thing out there. I think I found you through maybe Mike or something when you guys are doing a round table or something like that, or
Mm.
fighting. No, it's like I only know you through arguing and stuff like that, but it's all good. But
Yeah.
that's how the Eagles and Cowboys are, and I appreciate you, doing your thing and stuff like that for inspiring other YouTubers like myself. We're starting off small.
Mhm.
I'm not trying to do it just because I need likes and all this stuff. It's
Mhm.
because of the love of the sport. Uh,
Right.
not just loving the Eagles, but I love football, uh, very much, and it's kind of like my therapy, even though sometimes it kills me. And I could
Mhm.
just imagine what Cowboy fans be going through because you guys be watching this coaching changes and
Right.
quarterback changes, and you had the whole Romo thing. Kind of we had the McNabb era. You guys had the Romo thing, and didn't quite get to the bowl. McNabb made it, but you know the rest. And
Right.
and then I mean we have a lot of history, man. I mean we be sharing players. To goes over there, so you
And
know.
and I always say that, man, as much as Eagles fans and Cowboys fans, like, bicker and go back and forth, we're oddly similar in a lot of ways, man. That's what's crazy. I mean, because to think about it, for y'all to place the trade with us and allow us to get Micah Parsons. I mean, y'all placed the trade with us, 2020 to allow us to get our starting sitter and Tyler Biadasz. Like, there's a lot of, like I was like, we're kind of cousins who fights a lot, man. But going back to what you said earlier, bro, always find your North Star. When I say your North Star is the reason why you're doing this content. And like for me personally, I started last year in 2020 when everything was going through with the pandemic. And I was locked in the house. I was like, I just want to talk to people. I couldn't go to games. And so I really started from that standpoint, and it slowly built, I do my first live shows. It was like two
Yeah,
people. I had my kids upstairs watching my live, commenting in the chat and everything.
yeah,
But you slowly start to grow and
yeah,
you
yeah,
find friends not only within your own community, but I found friends in Eagles territory. I mean,
yeah,
even though we're opposite fan bases, I have the ultimate respect for anybody who does content in the proper manner. There's just some people I watch the content, I'm like, that's kind of BS. But like people who really sit down, study, know their team. I always say you're the viewer, you're not going to get that information that you're going to get from watching a content creator because we're rooted. We're in the barbershop. We know what's going on. Skip
yeah,
Bayless and them other guys, they don't know what's going on. They don't know nothing about Kelvin Joseph. Can he play inside or outside corner? And these different things that we speak about so naturally.
yeah.
So salute to you guys. Keep doing your thing, man, and it all pays off.
Yeah, shout out to Grandizer, man. I don't know if you've seen him in the comments before, but he's got a lot of knowledge. I always see him in comments, so he always got something cool to say.
Appreciate
Yeah,
you.
Happy New Year, man. He's like,
Happy New Year.
and just keep doing your thing, man. He's a good supporter, and he was saying Danny White thing too. Let's not forget.
Right. Right.
And shout out to Gio. What's up, man? How you doing, man? And like I was saying, dude, like just it's crazy because there's so much, Cowboys content creators. Like I actually got to talk with Mark Holmes and stuff.
Mhm.
Law Nation would be a little bit tricky because I mean, you try leaving a comment on when people are going, "Oh man,
It's
you
just so
gotta,
much.
yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta pay the man to talk to the man because
Right.
like those things are going so fast." So it's kind of cool that mine's a little bit slower pace where I
The
could just
chats, yeah, and
yeah,
that's the hard part because a lot of people don't understand, like, not only
woo,
you're trying to deliver your content, but you gotta pay attention to the chat, and, like, there's so many different
right,
things, like, we don't have a, production team that's running everything, so, when you watch my shows, where you can see the slides and the
yeah,
videos, I'm doing all that while trying to deliver content, keep it entertaining, and monitor the chat all along, so it's a lot that goes into it, man, but I definitely enjoy it, but I'll say this for Cowboys Nation content creators, for the most part, everyone who I ran into it's been tremendous. Like they've been helpful. They're real cool. So I mean, I'm sure if you were to reach out to Law one on one, Law's
Yeah.
one of the coolest, smoothest brothers I've ever talked to. So it's all like a family because we respect the game because we know the sacrifice. I mean, we all have
Oh, yeah.
families and other jobs. Like we're taking time away from that to give the viewers the best content we can in regards to our team. So yeah, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, shout out excuse me, shout out to Gio, and, I think he's
Appreciate
pulling
that.
up your, your stream right there.
Perfect.
Um,
Appreciate it.
yeah, so today's kind of like I know it's a football day, but it doesn't feel this it feels like a preseason day, and that is the weirdest thing I've ever said, but the thing about today is just like, I'm just gonna chill. The only thing that's my concern, and probably yours, is that I just don't wanna see no one get hurt.
Right.
And the other thing from that is that, um, we can't get nobody more sick,
Hmm.
because now this week is very important, because if that list comes up and you see some main dudes or whatever, vax or no vax,
Hmm.
it's a big thing, because this has serious implications, and depending who it is, you know, I don't it's just like, I don't wanna go into no playoff with your star missing, it's like,
Right. Right.
you know God forbid, but right now, with this weather change and everything, the 19 has hit,
Hmm.
it hit my family.
Hmm.
I dealt with it, it wasn't too crazy, but it does, it's hitting.
Right.
Um, I don't know how it is over there with in your state right now, but it is hitting over here.
Yeah, I'm actually in Kansas City, and so it hit. I thought I got hit, but I guess it's crazy how I say this. It's like fortunately it was just the flu, right? But I mean that's still that's still not good anyway. So I was negative, but I was sick, man, had a fever, so it's going around. And I said this last night. It's kind of hard for me to get into like playoff mode. Like, yeah, we ready with this COVID situation? Like from a
Yeah,
Dallas Cowboys standpoint, it was Thursday. We're getting ready to play the Bucks opening week, or not, actually it was Wednesday, and it's like, okay, well, Zach Martin has COVID, he's out. And you're just like, well, damn, bro, that changes a lot. And so you really won't know how the scope of the game is going to go until it's game day. Like, I don't know. Like, I could be getting ready for the Cardinals, and all of a sudden on Wednesday, I check one tweet and 4 to 5 players are out. Well, that changes the course of a game. And so,
yeah,
I know the NFL tried to make changes to their COVID protocol by shortening
yeah,
the window for 5 days, but like that only works if you're tested positive on Monday. If you test positive on Tuesday, you're SOL. Like, for example, Micah Parsons. Like, Micah Parsons probably could be playing in the game if we were playing on Sunday. But as of right now, we're just playing on Saturday. So Micah is
yeah.
out. So it's really hard to, it's a Russian roulette every time there's a game made. So
So do you think, the guys are gonna play full 4 quarters?
depends on the scope of the game. I think that, offensively, what we're looking for is to get into a rhythm, and especially from the offensive standpoint. So I know Dak wants to play. I know we'll see Amari Cooper. You guys should see CeeDee Lamb. You'll also see Ezekiel Elliott. You won't see Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard did not travel. And then Tyron Smith is out, our left tackle. So I think, like you said, bro, it's going to be more like a preseason game, right? It might be 2 quarters of excitement action, and then after halftime, they might hell look out there and see us out there playing. So, I think that they just want to see the offense get into a rhythm now. You've been hearing Cowboys players like, no, we want to win. It's important that we sweep the
Yeah.
division. All that sounds great, but you got to be rational when it comes down to it that going into the playoffs healthy without any injuries is the number one priority. Now, some
So
Cowboys fans will say it's not a meaningless game, right? If Tampa loses and the Cardinals lose and the Rams lose, then we can move up to the 2 seed. I'm like, okay, well, if I tweet Kim Kardashian 1,000 times, maybe she'll reply one time. I doubt that's going to happen. So, the
yeah,
odds of us moving up and seeding, I just don't see it. So the risk is not worth the reward. Because, like
yeah,
you said, hamstring pulls, muscle pulls, shoulder strains, all of that in
yeah.
a meaningless game, it's just not
And
worth it.
and,
So
it snowed. I got a buddy that went out there, I was watching him, and it snowed out there, so it's damn
yeah,
cold.
see, ugly game. But
Yeah,
see, and the players that said that, like, we need to know what it's like to play in the cold and play in the snow because we might have to
yeah,
do that if we go to Green Bay.
yeah,
All right, bro. Well, let's get a half of it max, But if I'm looking out there in the fourth quarter, I still see Dak. and Zeke out there playing, man, I'm probably gonna come unglued to be honest with you. So, you know.
Yeah, because like I said, it's like you guys are more than likely you guys are gonna be hosting the first game, right? At your
Yeah,
house.
yeah, the first one will be a home game for sure, for
Yeah,
sure. So
yeah. So no matter, yeah. So you guys will be nice and cozy there. Ain't
mhm,
nothing going on in Texas, so
right.
you're gonna need that. As far as I can't really remember, but what was your off season predictions for this team? Like where was your high at for the team, and where was your kind of like your middle ground before?
Yeah, I mean, I had us at 10 to 11 wins, so I think that we're right aligned where I had us coming into the season. Now, if I was to tell you that I had our defense playing the way it is, I would be a bold-faced liar, right? So, I felt like our offense was gonna do a lot of the heavy carrying, heavy lifting, and our defense just meet us halfway. I knew that making the switch from Mike Nolan, to Dan Quinn, there will be some improvement, but now it's kinda switched where to be honest with you, bro, I'm sitting back and I'm watching games and offense might be struggling. I'm like, oh, it don't matter. Defense will get a stop and get the ball back. Like, that's a different mentality for a lot of Cowboys fans. And so I think when you kind of see the disgruntledness when it comes to our fan base, is like, we're wanting offense to get back to that level. It's like because we want both. And we saw a glimpse of that versus Washington that last game where it's like offense is lights out,
Yeah,
defense is lights out, special teams. So we see what can happen when we're clicking on all three cylinders, but primarily it's been the defense clicking on all three cylinders and the offense kind of dragging along. Now, granted, we do have the number one scoring offense, but we can tell, I mean, Cowboys fans, we know when something just doesn't look right. And as
mhm.
far as the running game with efficiency, red zone and scoring, it just hasn't looked right since week 8. And so hopefully we can get that back on track and find that consistency. Because if we do, that's when we really get scary to make a playoff push.
Yeah, and then Washington and New York, man. I am so thankful that I am not either of their fans right now because I couldn't tell you, which way is up because they got 100 problems, man,
Right,
going
and I'll
down.
and I'll tell you this, Eagles
Yeah.
fans, and I didn't say this last night, because we played way back in week 3 and now we're playing.
Mhm.
Go and have them play that gauntlet when we play Washington, the Giants, and then Washington. I miss Eagles fans because these Washington fans, bro, they were just beating on because when they played us, remember they came off a 4-game winning streak. So it was
Yeah.
we won Dallas. And I was like, where are y'all coming from, bro? Like, like man, I need some Eagles fans in my chat because these Washington fans are, delusional, right?
Yeah, they were and it is so crazy, man, from, like, the Stalin the fans almost falling on Jalen and
Right.
oh, man, dude, can you imagine if it fell on
Pipes busting, the whole thing with
Yeah.
the whole thing with the benches. I'm like, the whole thing with the benches was not our fault. Your benches wasn't working. So we brought in working benches because we're gonna be outside in the cold, and then it's kind of start this whole little trend of bringing the benches around. I'm just like, we would have never had to do that if yours was working. So,
Yeah,
Washington fans were real annoying. So I'm glad, y'all got ahead and dealt with them and got them out the way, man.
I
Now,
think
well, actually, the Washington Commandos, I think that's what they're going to be,
man,
Commanders or whatever they about to
they
switch
need to
to.
command they need a new stadium or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, man. You
I
got
I feel kinda bad. I was like, NFL, I think they need to, get this together
right,
they need to do something in Washington and it's just gotta be tricked out. I mean, you
right.
got LA doing things over here. I didn't really like the fact that they took the San Diego stadium down because I don't know if
Mhm.
you ever made it out there,
No, I didn't.
but it's cool to, San Diego's a nice place, so it was cool. It's not too far from where I'm at.
Mhm.
But, it's just like things like that, the San Diego should have stayed Chargers right there, but the whole kinda doing, like, the New York Jets and Giants
Right.
thing, it's kinda weird,
Because it's
like
not your home. It's not your home.
yeah,
You
that's like
share it,
having
like
it's like Houston and Dallas being
right.
the teams.
Nah.
It wouldn't
Right,
have
it's like
that
having a roommate,
same
even though you have a roommate and you might split the rent, like it's not your house. Like there's certain stuff you
right.
cannot do. You got your banners on one side and you got Chargers banners on the other. It's like,
Yeah.
nah, bro. Like,
It was like that the Clippers and Lakers thing. I was like, "Oh, no,
right.
man,
Nah.
can't do that." We get to Grandizer saying, fans who have bought playoff tickets should be exchanged to upgraded 3 home games next year. This COVID thing is no joke. It's absolute safety. About safety.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing I keep trying to explain to people because I know a lot of Cowboys fans are getting upset, like they should be in a bubble, they should be in a bubble.
Yeah.
But I'm
Yeah.
like, when you understand what does a bubble mean, right? That means it's a focused area. You control what comes in and what comes out. Like the
Right.
NBA, they had a bubble. Like you had to check, you had to do everything before you come in, and they
Yeah.
didn't go out. But there's
Right.
no point of putting the Cowboys in a bubble for a week for they practice. Then you take them out the bubble, put them on a plane to Philadelphia. They sleep in a hotel that's outside the bubble, play in an arena in front of 70,000 screaming fans who God knows what they have COVID. Like you can't control
Yeah.
it when you're going to have them playing in other arenas and traveling, different things like that. So, like I said, we just got to be, pray and keep your fingers
Yeah.
crossed that you just don't get hit next week. And, I'm not going to rest pretty much until Sunday until I find out
Yeah.
who's officially playing. So,
Isaac said he wanted to see Micah this weekend.
he's a beast, man. He's definitely something to see, man. And when I did the draft content for Micah, I had him around 10 sacks, and a lot of people said I was crazy. But I was like, if Dan Quinn uses him properly, I can see him having a 9 to 10 sack season. But did I see him having the impact that he's having right now? Just being a complete
Yeah.
war machine? Absolutely not. And nobody saw it because if they did, he would have probably went first or second in the draft.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so it's like, all the people's like, I saw
Changed
Michael.
a lot.
Like, no, you didn't, bro, because nobody saw this type of impact happening this soon. But Micah is definitely a beast, man.
So Isaac said, which NFC playoff team does you want to face? Tampa Bay or Arizona revenge game? Rams or Green Bay to show Dallas is a superior team, or just take the games as they come?
Okay, so a lot of Cowboys fans disagree with me. And so actually tomorrow I am going to be a Rams fan because I feel like personally the Rams will be our toughest matchup. If we're going to play anybody next week, I prefer it be the Cardinals because I would take that rematch. Because if you think about it, we had a few bad holding calls kind of go our way. We had a missed field goal. They did fumble the ball at the end of the game. We just didn't have a timeout. So things throughout the course of that game could drastically change. Where I feel like we'll
Will
be
be
more
more
confident
confident
playing the
playing the card.
Cardinals. I feel like the Rams is a bad matchup for us personally. I mean, they do everything that we do bad, they do great. When you have someone on the interior line like Aaron Donald can disrupt things, you have Jalen Ramsey at the second level, you have Cooper Kupp, you have OBJ, you also have possibility of Cam Akers coming back. And even though Matt Stafford's streaky, he can catch fire just like that too as well. So it's really a coin flip. So I would prefer to play the Cardinals, and then ideally after that game, it really doesn't matter. I would like to go back to Tampa though. I mean, for selfish reasons, because it's nice and warm weather right there. So I would like to travel there versus Green Bay. I would like to play Tampa and then possibly Green Bay. I think if we are going to get to the Super Bowl level, it's inevitable that we have to face Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. Like he's kind of been our villain. You got Mike McCarthy going back to Green Bay. The storylines is all there. We have the catch in 2014 when we got robbed. So we're gonna have to go through Lambeau, and I'm prepared for it. But I'm prepared to watch it from the comfort of my own home because I'm not going out there in that cold, bro.
Well, the thing too is like I'm not so sold on the Rams right now because I don't know what it is with Stafford and throwing the picks right now. I don't know if the stage is getting too big or something. I don't know what it is, but I just not feeling Stafford right now.
Right.
I think you guys would match up well. I think the Eagles would match up well, and we've had their number for quite a bit. McVay
Mhm.
knows what's up. They beat us, I guess, last year, but anybody could have beat us last year.
Yeah, and,
Uh,
and I'll say this: if you tell me that I have the offense that I know that we're capable of having, then I'll take on the Rams any day of the week. But if we're kind of struggling to be efficient in the red zone, our kicker is extremely unreliable. I feel like the Rams can still put up points. Matt Stafford will throw for 450 yards and throw 3 touchdowns and 4 picks. And still put up numbers. It's sloppy and
um,
ugly, but that's what his
yeah.
his, his game has always been. So I just don't think the Rams is a good fit for us right now. I think we need to get into a rhythm. So I'll take the Cardinals. I'm rooting for the Cardinals to be playing
But
them next week.
well, what's kind of cool? Well, the thing is, like, I guess Dallas doesn't need it any other way because, like, basically, you owe Green Bay some revenge. You
Right.
owe definitely Arizona.
Right.
Okay. I don't know what, and we struggle with the Eagles struggle with Arizona too. When you guys even go down there, you there's something about Arizona that is just been. I don't know where it's just like they played the best that they ever
Right.
played, no matter who it is, the quarterback. And the Niners, I think you guys, I don't think they've taken you out in the playoffs. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, not playoff wise. I mean, I think and Law Nation just posted this. So if we were to play the 49ers in the playoffs, I think that would be the first time since like 96 or something like that.
Oh
The
yeah,
NFC
so
Championship
yeah,
game, which
that's
was one of the highest viewed NFL games of all time. So I mean, there's a rivalry in itself with the 49ers
right.
and the Cowboys. But a lot has to happen. I think we have to beat you guys, and then the Rams and the Cardinals both have to lose. So I still feel it's a stretch, but we're in the playoffs. It's all the big boys here. Where's all the, there's no Falcons out there or somebody that you can just like cherry pick and play. Like all the
Yeah.
big boys are coming here. You especially have COVID situation. You got to be considerate of that. And you're playing the best of the best. We're gonna have to go through the league. We're not the AFC because I mean the AFC there's a few little bye weeks within the playoffs, but in the NFC, man, you're gonna have to bang your head with anybody. I mean, you guys can get on a roll with your run game and make things happen, completely disrupt. So you just never know, but you got to be playing your best football,
Yeah,
next week.
speaking of the running game, like, we got hindered a little bit here with Miles Sanders got an injury. You know how they downplay this injury. They don't really specify like what part of his hands hurt, or I'm not
Mhm,
sure what's going on. I know he had surgery.
mhm,
But I want to say what mid-season or beginning to the mid-season, your guys' run game was like I was like, wow, this is thunder and lightning. You guys are killing. You guys didn't even really have to worry about so much about the passing.
mhm.
So, what has happened where it's taking that it seems like it's going backwards a little bit?
Yeah,
What
yeah.
tell me what you think happened.
Yeah, I think, when a lot of Cowboys fans, when I looked at the film of it, one, like, and now this is like a small impact though, but Blake Jarwin, so our second tight end went down. So he went down that Minnesota game. And before that, we were running a lot of 12 formations, giving a lot of great looks and allowing Ezekiel and Tony Pollard to get out in space and do their thing. After that, after he went down with the hip injury, right? Kellen Moore kind of shifted to being a more pass focused team. And to be honest with you, like, I know Ezekiel Elliott's banged up a little bit. You have Pollard out a little bit with the foot injury. It's just committing to the run game. I feel like if we come out and we run the ball versus you guys the first 3 plays tonight and y'all stop it, Kellen Moore's like, well, screw that. Let's air it out. So it's like there's no commitment to the running game. I actually just watched one of my old videos from the first game versus Tampa, and it was the same thing. But it's like, how can you expect Ezekiel Elliott, who's getting paid $60 million, to be himself with 6 touches in a game? Like, what could he possibly do besides break one? The same thing with Tony Pollard. Like last week, he had 3 touches. Like,
Yeah.
what running back could have an impact on the game? So, it's coming back to getting balance and committing to it. Even if it's not working, you still have to commit to it because the defense is not going to respect it. So, what a lot of defenses are doing to us is they're coming up heavy. They're showing blitz. They're stacking the box to give like they're going to try to take away the run. Dak is audibly now that play, maybe calling a pass play or whatnot because he's seeing single high safety. And then as soon as the ball snapped, everyone's dropping back in coverage into a soft zone. Versus if you say, you know what, y'all stacking the box, we're going to call your bluff, play a little chess match, and run the ball down your throat. Then that keeps you off kilter from dropping back, right? And so once you get the run game in rhythm, then I'm gonna hit you over the top. But right now, teams aren't respecting the run, and so and it's showing. So
So, when I did get to see the Cardinals game that you guys just played, and it just seemed kind of like I don't know if you felt like that, but when I was watching Dak in the beginning, probably to the end of the third, it just kind of seemed like he wasn't into it, or he was just like I don't know. Did you get that kind of feeling like
the,
it just didn't seem like himself?
the weird thing with Dak right now, and I say this, he has Bruce Banner syndrome, meaning he doesn't really turn up until he gets angry, right? And so we kind of saw that, like the Cardinals game was kind of lethargic, offense wasn't moving, and then all of a sudden, when it's like mid third quarter, and like then he takes off and run. Then he, then he's like, all right, now I'm gonna try to air things out, and we saw that in the Vegas game versus the Raiders, like we have to get out to early starts, but this just isn't this season. This kind of ailed us last season. And I think it comes with the play calling and Kellen Moore a lot. I feel like he gets a lot more conservative. And when you look at the Cardinals game in a nutshell last Sunday, it was like The Cardinals had their backs against the wall, right? They were coming out like they needed to prove a point because they were coming off a losing streak. They lost to Detroit, all sorts of things. The Cowboys were just like, hey, we blew out Washington. We should handle this game pretty well. There was no sense of urgency until you look up in the fourth quarter, like, oh, damn, we're behind. Let's get to it. Now let's give Amari Cooper the ball. Now let me find CeeDee Lamb. Like, bro, you should have been doing that from the first quarter. Now, here's probably what's going to happen. Watch the sense of urgency tonight versus you guys. There's going to be like Coop gets 3 to 5 touches out the gate, and they're going to come out and they're going to,
Usually have a good game against
pedal
the
to the floor. But you have to do that against other quality opponents as well. You can't come out and punch Washington in the mouth and play the Cardinals in Cade. If you're going to be a bully, you have to pick on people your same size as well and keep that same mentality, because we've done that. We came out and punched the Falcons in the face after we lost to the Broncos, and then we play the Raiders, and it's like, I don't want no problems. So, get consistency. Punch Kansas City in the face. Like, go for it versus Kansas City. Go for it versus the Raiders. So.
And you know what's funny, man? Maybe it's catching on quarterbacks because I noticed Jalen does kind of the same thing. Like it would kind of be like, you guys go ahead and take the lead, and then once we're losing, it's like, oh,
Right.
shit, all right, okay, let me do
He
something.
powers up,
Like, let me
and
take it.
yeah.
So it's like I kind of understand it because like I guess we're kind of in the same thing too because like you said, if your running game ain't going anywhere in the beginning, he said, "Okay, now we need to pass." So
Right.
I get what you're saying right there, but
Yeah. My solution is like in Dallas, man, just change the clocks. Like, soon as the game starts, we're down 21-0, and just have it start out the
take
gate,
them
man.
out, start
Yeah,
yelling
because
at
I
them.
don't know the sense of urgency from the first and second quarter. Like, I mean, because we did that even earlier versus the Panthers. We came out and was just slow versus the Panthers. Got punched in the mouth, and Sam Darnold was dashing on us. And
Oh
then
yeah, yeah, I
then it was
remember
just like
that.
boom, 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 touchdown, 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 no
Yeah, that
huddle.
was
Like, well, why? Why do we have to wait till the second half? So,
yeah, that
I
was
guess it's
yeah,
just
I was
part of our
surprised
identity,
by
who
it.
we are.
I think that might have been the Panthers like best game because we played them. I think the following week, so I was watching the highlights, see what they did. I was like, "How did they do this?" And I'm like, "Damn, Darnold, he doing that?"
Yeah,
I was getting
yeah.
worried. I was like, "Dude, this guy's not."
We came out play fight, and then Sam Darnold
Oh
punched us
yeah.
in the mouth, and we're just like, bro, like, am I bleeding? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I
So
and I see the question in the chat. It may be my guy West Coast with the cowboy hat. He wears a cowboy hat, not all the time. I don't know if he says yeehaw or anything, but that's definitely not me, man. He has like a big Cowboys hat and then like spray painted and stuff. But yeah,
okay.
not
Yeah,
me.
see, because you told me that he's big on Facebook.
Yeah. West Coast is big on Facebook, so it's probably him, man. He do a whole lot of stuff, man. Salute to my guy West Coast.
Uh, so I was, you know, outside looking in. I was telling myself, because you guys were such on a roll, I was like, "Man, you guys, this schedule is looking easier and easier." And I was like, "Well, I think their only challenge that I kinda see is" I wasn't too sure about, I was gonna call 'em KFC, KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken, uh, freaking, Kansas City.
Mhm,
I was like, I don't know, this isn't the same Mahomes and all that."
mhm.
But then when they won you guys, I was kinda I say, "Wait," I was like, "They're playing some bad ball, so how did that" so I don't know. You real quick, tell me what happened in that Kansas game. That w
Yeah, so I
w
was out there. Like I said, I live here in Kansas City,
Right, right.
and I really feel like what it was is, one, we didn't have Amari Cooper out there, and then
Okay,
two, CeeDee Lamb went out early with the concussion, and
okay,
so it
yeah,
was just like our offense was just out of sync because, one, now we're starting to throw to the Cedric Wilsons, and like it's a different ball game when you don't have Amari
yeah.
Cooper and CeeDee Lamb out there, and then two, you're not committing to the run game, so
Well,
that was one thing.
did they pull it? Did they just, like did they do that thing where you guys they were shutting it down and then
Well,
they're like,
yeah,
"Oh,
Chris Jones came out there and completely wrecked the game, but I think the ball game, changed once CD went out the concussion. Kansas City looked around, was like, y'all ain't got no more killers out here. So, the
right,
only killer that you possibly have is Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard. Well, we're
okay,
gonna do everything to take that away, and we didn't make them pay. But from a defensive standpoint, we held them under 20 points. Like, they only scored 3 points after their very first touchdowns. So it's like our defense played well enough to win the game. That was kind of the first where it's like, all right, offense is a little bit out of sync. Where we really couldn't, and even if in that game we had an opportunity to come back, Dak just threw an interception in the final minutes and they jumped it. So it's like it was there, but I felt like if we were completely healthy or had some of our guys out there, it would have been a completely different scenario. I saw the question, if there was one Dallas loss game you can get back this year, which would it be? And clearly it's the Tampa game. Like, I was out there in Tampa, and I feel like that was a game to really set the tone for the season. And even though it was a good game, I mean, to be out there and have our field goal kicker leave 7 points off the board, the push off that they I think Goodwin had on Jordan Lewis, to put them in position. That was one game I really couldn't let go of all season. So that's why I would really like to play Tampa again, because I feel like if we were to meet them, it'll be a different outcome.
Yeah, Dizer. So I think you're talking about West Coast Cowboy fan.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
it
Yeah, I
says
think I think it's
we
West. Yeah, I don't do the yeehaw there. Nah, yippee ki
yeah.
yeah. I mean, but that's the thing. Like, I'm sure it's with the Eagles. There's so many different content creators out there. I can't keep a track. I think I've met a lot of them, but there's probably some guys I haven't even met yet. So West Coast would be my only one that I think would do that. Where they
Right.
Cowboy.
So, um, the out of the losses, which team or which game were you the most healthiest? Um, was it the Cardinals that you guys were the most healthiest?
Yeah, I think the Cardinals game was it. So I think the Cardinals game, we had everybody back offensively. It was the first time we had our. So people don't know this. Last week was the first time we had our starting offensive line together. So that was the first game they played all season. So we had them. We had CeeDee Lamb. We had Amari Cooper. We had Michael Gallup momentarily for the injury. So last week was the game when we were all fully healthy and really took a loss. So that was one of the disconcerting parts about you know versus the Cardinals. So
Yeah, so it is kind of crazy. That's your most healthiest, and you guys kind of were playing catch up ball because usually I think you guys love to score fast. When you guys
mhm,
score up quick, like say if you went 21-6 or something like that,
mhm,
I think you guys play really more relaxed and you guys set the tone.
mhm,
When it's backwards, it then it seems like everything's critical, and it even goes down to the coach,
mhm,
that trickery thing they did where you guys called a timeout, end up
mhm,
biting you guys in the butt, but you know what? Like, when they're because 'cause they're kinda trying to say that the blame is kind of on McCarthy and stuff like that, but I heard both sides of the story. But
mhm,
the thing is that you can't really be that ticky-tacky on that. I think Dallas kinda was shooting themselves in the foot
right,
early. So, the point is you don't even it shouldn't even be over a challenge, and you don't want the game to be over on a
right,
challenge
exactly,
or a pass interference or, you don't wanna put yourself especially in the playoff,
mhm,
uh, you don't want you've seen what's happened with the Saints and the Rams, like that one we've seen a lot of things that go bad.
right,
You've even with the Dez catch, you don't want things to be that one pinnacle thing, you wanna have, more of a lead where it's in your favor. So if something does slip up, you still got the lead.
yeah.
So,
And
I
exactly, and when it comes to that play, when we use the timeout, like, that was just something that the Cardinals had in their back pocket. That's all they want us to do, is just burn a timeout. Like, they accomplished that, and it came back to bite us in the butt because when that fumble happened, we didn't have a timeout to throw a challenge flag or anything like that. So, like I said, they came out, they played against their backs against the wall. They did the fake punt that worked in their favor as well. And so that's the type of aggressiveness you got to come out and establish regardless. Like I said, before we played Washington the last time, I did a full video of how the Cowboys offense could get back on track. And I swear that it felt like Kellen Moore was a subscriber, right? So came out, established tempo. We got the run game going on the edges. We used the play action. We loosened up a little bit, and everything was just checking off. And the offense was like boom, 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 boom. Then we get to the Cardinals. Very first drive, tempo, play action. We march down the field, but then we stall out. That's all of that. No more tempo, no more play action,
yeah.
abandon the run game. So it's like you found the formula, but for some reason, you just pieced out on it, which I don't understand. So, a lot of Cowboys fans, if you kind of watch closely, they're kind of anti Kellen Moore right now, and rightfully so, because it's like, all right, teams have been running this static defense versus us pretty much since the Broncos game, right? When, like I said, they're stacking the boxes, they're moving their safeties around, they're coming back in coverage. why haven't you adjusted as of yet? If we're playing Madden, bro, and I'm running the same defense and I'm beating you for the last 9 times, eventually something's going to click and be like, all right, I got to do something different. Let me try going 5 wide. Let me try, you know what I'm saying? Like, let me try
Right.
more motions. Like, are you going to just sit there and take it week by week and just be like, I don't know, I can't beat it. So, that's the problem with a lot of Cowboys fans and Kellen Moore. And, I guess he interviewed for the Jacksonville job last night. So good luck, bud.
Yeah, it's kinda weird that they're already kinda jumping the gun. I think people are get too caught up in the moment because, like, you wanna see a little bit more. I mean, if you're gonna make a big decision like that, at least let's see the playoff games, like,
Yeah.
what would happen if, you guys have a terrible game in the first game, in the
Mhm.
wild card game? It's like you're still sold on that guy. It's like you at least want him to be, winning some games here in the playoffs if you're
Right.
gonna try to change your franchise, but that's just me.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think when it comes to Kellen Moore, the issue is the coaching tree, right? So, he was under Scott Linehan. They were in Detroit. They come over to Dallas. Scott Linehan was the offensive coordinator. He got fired. Then you had Kellen Moore. So, what Cowboys fans are thinking, they're seeing a lot of Scott Linehan because if that was your mentor who you learned under, that's all you know. Like, so Kellen Moore doesn't know, hey, I got Amari Cooper, and he's better than half of these corners that we're facing. I'm just gonna give him the ball and let him do his thing. Like, you're seeing what Amari Cooper is coming out voicing his frustrations. You saw Dez Bryant voicing the same frustrations, and so that's why Cowboy fans are getting concerned. Where it's like we want all of that old Jason Garrett, Linehan DNA out of the locker room, and let's try something new. But it remains to be unseen. Kellen can maybe dig himself out of this hole, but the past few weeks just hasn't looked promising. Because, like I said, you're seeing players like think about it, bro. Like if you're running the ball, y'all run the ball 40 times, but Miles Sanders only get like you're thinking like why aren't my stars getting the ball? Like if we're gonna throw 40
yeah,
times, you would
that's
think you would look at the stat sheet and be like, man, they were going crazy to Coop and CeeDee Lamb. Like you wouldn't look at Dalton Schultz and Cedric Wilson being your highest targets and then Dak being your leading rusher, like with more carries. Like it just doesn't add up. And so if you want to be a pass heavy team, do that, but get it to your star players that's able to make something happen. But Kellen Moore's more of a system guy, take what the defense gives. But me personally, you're letting the defense dictate what you're doing offense. So
now,
yeah.
do you feel that this is one of the best rosters you've seen, I guess since the Roma era?
Roster wise, I don't want to say roster wise. Yeah, I would. I would say talent wise, yeah, because of our defense. And I think that's a testament to the Cowboys really hitting in free agency because I know a lot of people when we're doing free agency shows, we're like, oh, we got J-Ron Curse. And like, oh, J-Ron is bomb from Detroit, bomb from, like, it's trash. We need a Jamal Adams, but like J-Ron Curse has stepped up. And I was banging the desk heavily for Malik Hooker. They're like, oh, he's always hurt. What I'm saying? So you got a lot of bargain deals that actually turned out to be, valuable pieces when it comes to this defense. And so, kudos to them putting the team together. So talent wise, yes, because we also have a lot of depth. Because when I was watching the draft, I was like, bro, do we really need 10 damn, draft picks on defense? But you come to find out, it's like Osa Digizua, he's had a great season. Chauncey Golston, he's had a decent season. I mean, we haven't even seen our second round pick in Kelvin Joseph, but we saw a little glimpse of it. He's going to play tonight too as well. But from what we saw, he's been playing decent. We know Micah. And so, like, all these young kids that we drafted, when they got their opportunity, whether it's due to injury or COVID, they really stepped in and got reps they wasn't going to get earlier on. We probably would have never saw Osa if Gallimore didn't go down early in the season. We never saw Golston if DeMarcus Lawrence didn't go down. So you have rookies who played almost a full year of football in their first year. So it adds that depth layer and that depth piece. So yeah, I'll agree. I think this is one of the most talented rosters per se in quite some time. But you got to put it together.
Yeah, and, I was saying, outside looking in, that I think that to say that this season has been successful for the Cowboys is I believe you guys have to reach that NFC championship because, things are gonna change next year. I
Mhm,
don't and people are gonna want money, I
mhm.
don't know
Oh,
what's gonna
yeah.
happen with Pollard. Maybe even Zeke might be on the trading block. I know that might be sounding crazy and stuff, but who knows because,
Mhm.
um, a lot of people are saying he ain't the same right now, but that's not too much fair because he's got I don't know what his injury is, but he's not exact 100 and stuff. But
Well, the
things
crazy thing with that, because you asked about earlier the run game, like when Zeke came from the offseason, like he lost weight, like his training, like his cutting when I was out there at camp.
Mhm.
He looked like the Zeke that everyone was accustomed to doing, right?
Right.
Zeke
Well,
was back,
yeah.
everyone felt good, but then it's the very first game of the season, he gets 6 carries. You're just like so, it's like, all right,
Yeah.
so when Zeke was healthy and was actually getting opportunities, he was playing lights out. Now we're at the end of the season. He's been banged up a little bit. I feel like he's more of a north-south guy versus
Yeah.
earlier he could go lateral, he can cut, the patience and everything was there, but make no mistakes about it. Zeke still has that burst. Now, is it as sexy as Tony Pollard? No, but I call him smash and dash. You need both. Like, you can't give Zeke the carries, 30 carries, and expect him to lead to the promised land, but you can
Yeah.
give him 15 and give Pollard 15 and really
Yeah.
sees what happens. But the Cowboys just failed to commit thus far on doing that.
Yeah, they seem and I think that's gonna nee especially in the cold weather, you're gonna I
Right.
believe you guys are gonna need that. I don't think you guys could just because I don't that stat I was hearing that if you guys don't rush over 100, you guys come out
Mhm.
losing. And I believe you guys can't go below that because, you guys are gonna need to bleed some clock here. You can't just
Mhm.
be all on deck.
Mhm.
So, would you say that's a fair assessment that this team should get to the NFC Championship? If not, I mean it's still great to get in the playoffs and all that, but I'm saying
Right.
as far as roster-wise, everything that Dax got paid,
Mhm.
Zeke, everybody got some checks here. So
Right.
is that fair enough for me to say that they should reach that and this season is a success? If not, it was just a average season at
Yeah,
best.
that's the thing. I don't want to say it's just an average season. And the reason why, if this was a traditional season, then absolutely I'd be like, just another Cowboys letdown. But you got to think about, like I said, with the pieces with COVID. I mean,
Yeah.
because think about this, and a lot of people don't understand. It's like we had Dak out with the calf strain, right? We had to go to the Vikings and play. I think it was on Halloween, right, with Cooper Rush and win that game. If we lose that game, this
Yeah.
conversation right now is a completely different conversation because we're neck and neck for the division. And so to
Oh,
be able to pull those types of wins off with all these different things going on and not having your right guard and your right tackle being suspended. So I don't want to say it's completely a bust, but the standard should be for the Cowboys is playoffs and NFC championship game and propelling. Now, if we come out and get dog walked by Arizona next week and it's over, yeah, it was a wasted effort. But there's always factors. I mean, we get to the NFC champ, or let's say we get to the division game and 8 players are out with COVID. Like, what I'm saying? I don't want to call this a bust season because of that situation. So, I think the standard, with Mike McCarthy, for me personally, I wanted to see consistency. I wanted to see consistency, with this team, stop being a playoff team this year, you know, lottery pick this year, playoff team. Like I want to see playoff division. NFC. Maybe we lose an NFC championship. That sucks. Okay, boom, we're so close, but then we won the. It's like that more consistency of remaining an elite top tier team versus the peaks and the valleys that we've seen through the Jason Garrett era, where it's just like we lose in the divisional round. It's like okay, next year's our year, and then we win 4 games, and so it's
yeah.
like
So then it's sort of like a part 2 of last year's season because I thought it was kind of funny that there was no fans for a minute, and then, Super Bowl comes, and Tampa Bay's got a full audience.
right, right. It's funny how
Oh,
that
okay.
works, right?
Yeah, I see how that is,
Right. Yeah.
but,
Well, I mean,
NFL trying to get their
from the
check.
rumors though, we might be having a Super Bowl switched over to Dallas, man. So that would be fun. But
Yeah, it's getting wild over here in Cali because I keep
yeah.
seeing that they're gonna be having the National Guards out,
Oh wow.
too, and all
Yeah.
that stuff, so to me, we just gotta go through with it. I think everybody has to we it's just like the flu and all that stuff. We just have
Right.
our bodies just gotta fight it. Not everybody's gonna be able to handle it 'cause, circumstances, but
Right.
because my kids be going to school and every day, I'm like,
Right.
"Oh, not again, man. I'm trying to go to
Right.
work. I can't
Yeah, it's
stay
hard, man. 'Cause like,
home."
yeah, you can't, they try to do contact. I'm like, they're kids. How you gonna contact trace some kids, bro? Like, yeah.
Right.
Like, yeah.
Let me answer, one of these questions Grandizer had. He says, "How did you become a Cowboys fan? How many jerseys do you own?" Dang, he's really getting
Yeah.
he really investigating you. Who is all-time Cowboys player for one on offense and one on defense? Alright, go ahead, Jay.
All right. So first one, how I become a Cowboys fan. So I was grew up in Austin and I lived in Austin for a little bit. So back then, the Dallas Cowboys used to have their training camp at the University of Texas, and so I was always going to training camp. I had pictures of me and a kid as a kid with Troy Aikman, that's my guy, right? So, I started off as a Cowboys fan. I was born into it. But what really made me fall in love, and I was just like, that's what I like. And, but I actually want to take a gravitation towards the Cowboys was primetime Deion Sanders. I mean, back then, bro, like the video games, the must be the money. I used to wear blue bandanas to like school and stuff. Say with my Deion jersey, like Deion was just like a character, and I'm a Florida State guy as well. So Deion was the guy that really made me bleed Dallas Cowboy blue. Um, how many jerseys do I own? I actually have a closet upstairs that's just all Dallas Cowboys jerseys. Like it's just a whole room, a closet. So I haven't even counted. I probably have like 20. Yeah, I got 21 on the way, I would say, because I just bought that Micah Parsons Pro Bowl
Gets
jerseys.
expensive, man. It gets expensive.
Yeah, they're starting to climb up a little bit because they're making them limited. Like
Yeah,
you can't even get a Parsons Cowboys jersey right now if you wanted to. Like you can't. So you gotta get them custom, like through the pro shop, and like
yeah.
that's how I had to do digs. So like, yeah, they're climbing up the ladder a little bit. So I might be done here after a while. So I would say jersey wise, probably like 21, 22. But I have so much, Cowboys clothing, hats, shirts, everything. Got my own merch store. If y'all know any Cowboys fans, cowboysfansonly.com.
It is.
Um, all-time best player on offense and defense. That's hard, man. Defense, of course, is Deion Sanders. Offensively, I love the playmaker, man, but that last 88 and Dez Bryant was just my guy, man. Like Dez Bryant was my favorite player. Like I just bleed Dez Bryant. I love the energy. My family was Oklahoma State alums. So they went to Oklahoma State. So I watched Dez when he was in college. Like I cried harder than he cried when we drafted him. So, Dez Bryant, I have to say, is my all-time favorite offensive Dallas Cowboy player. Like that's the one guy. And how you can tell this, y'all, is whenever you're doing shows or having conversations, like who is that guy that someone can mention that can really trigger you? And I remember being at work one day and like one of my coworkers was just on me about Dez suck, and I'm at work and I was damn near ready to throw him because I was like, bro, stop talking about Dez. You know what I'm saying? So Dez is definitely that guy that I'm gonna defend till the end. So Dez Bryant's my favorite offensive guy, and then I'll give it to primetime Deion Sanders.
Yeah, so over here, I didn't start I wasn't, like, crazy into football, but I collected a lot of football cards, and,
Mhm.
there was, like, a hat thing, man. Like, if
Mhm.
the hat looked cool, you gotta have it,
Yeah.
like, someone you I don't know, like, the hat game, I don't know if you're into hats, but there
Yeah,
was when
absolutely.
I was
Yeah.
young, you had to have a hat that looked cool and stuff, like, even if it was a Detroit Lions hat or whatever, so, there I used to collect hats, I don't it was some nerdy thing back in school that we used to
Yeah.
do. People had to have, like, the freshest hats and stuff like that. And,
Yeah.
my neighbor, he worked for, I think, Tops or something like that. So he's like,
Mhm.
"Hey, if you cut my grass, every other week or something like that, I'll give you a bag of football cards."
Mhm.
And man, he really hooked it up, man. And I almost had like all 32 teams, like everybody, the no names and all this stuff like
Right.
that. And then
Right.
sometimes I would hit. At one of the cards I did find was it was a Walter Payton, and
Mhm.
I was like I had, like, the Thurman Thomas and all those dope cards back in the day, and I
Right.
had all the Raiders and stuff like that, Shell, Long, and, Bo Jackson. I was a huge Bo
Bo
Jackson.
Jackson, yep.
Every time I seen a Bo Jackson card, I had to get that dude, he's I don't know if there'll ever be another Bo Jackson, man. Like,
One
I
of the
just
greatest athletes ever, man. I mean,
yeah,
it goes back and forth between him and Dion, man, but yeah.
yeah, that's true, that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, it's like
It
I
was
wish
special.
those type of players could still kinda do that thing, even though if they're not on my team or not, but still,
Right.
like, it's like when it's a
Sports was just different, man. Sports was just different. Like, and I never told nobody this, man. But I'm on your show, bro. I'll give you a little nugget. So, I actually had an Eagles jersey. Now, this is back when I was a child, man. Because elementary school, you didn't have that bleed. Like, I'm not gonna wear another team. It's the only team I wear, right? So it was a Ricky Waters jersey, man. Eagles jersey. And you remember back in the old days, they used to have which they need to bring it back because it actually made sense. It was like a black Eagles jersey, but you could reverse it, and then it'll be the green one. So it's
Yeah.
like 2 jerseys in one, which is like
Oh, yeah.
yeah, and so I had a Ricky Waters jersey back then. So it's like, back then you just like football, like you said, cards and video games. Like, I used to play Madden, y'all, when the windows would pop up, like
Yeah,
like
dude.
windows
I
pop
mean,
up and you had A,
I
your
don't know,
receiver
man.
over here, B in the middle is like, yeah. So
Back
you
in
know,
the day, they used to have some like, the starter jackets were pretty dope,
yeah.
all that stuff they used to do, that reversible stuff.
Yes, I
I
got I got
look
my Dallas Cowboy. I got my Dallas Cowboy starter jacket, the one with the pocket in the front. And to
Yeah,
be honest with you, till this day, that's my warmest warmest jacket, man. When it's
yeah,
time to go battle the cold out here in Kansas City, I grabbed that starter jacket. Yeah, but they need to bring those jerseys. I mean, they're probably not because it was too
yeah.
feasible. But like,
I mean,
you had
back
a Cowboys blue, and then you flip it over, and it's Cowboys white, and you know what I'm saying? Like,
it
it
was
was good.
crazy because, um, I was huge into basketball. I kinda, like, fell off the basketball thing
Hmm.
when, it started you had to start paying for everything.
Hmm.
Even with my baseball, I'm a Dodger, Chicago, and Eagles fan, and
Chicago
even
Bulls.
start yeah, the Bulls, so back in the day
Well,
with,
that's remember we're I mean we're I w- well people don't know my name is the J is Jordan, so
okay,
Jordan Michael, so I'm named after Michael Jordan, man.
nice,
So,
there it is, there it is.
so
So, it was funny because I remember we were on a field trip, and, it was the, Lakers versus Chicago,
mhm,
and, of course, there's a lot of Laker fans on the West Coast of Cali.
mhm,
My friend was a hardcore Laker, man, and, we was arguing on the bus. He said, "Hey, man, you gotta make a decision." I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, you either riding for Lakers or you Chicago fan. You can't be doing both here."
right,
I was like, man, he put me on the spot, man. So I was like, I just had to go with Mike, man. I was just
right,
like, there was just something, and this is before all the championships and all that. So I was just like, I don't know, there was just something about Mike that was just different, man. It's just,
yeah,
I mean, just watching him and playing is like, I mean, it's so hard not to like love the guy, you know.
right,
So
yeah,
I ended up being a Chicago fan, and man, what a roller coaster it was. I used to collect the newspapers like a nerd.
mhm,
I remember I went to, I forgot, it was J.C. Penney's or one of the old school stores back in the day. I'm going back to the future,
yeah, man,
and, and then, I seen the Chicago Bulls, like, this jacket. It was like that
mhm,
Letterman type jacket with the
yep,
big old bull in the back, and I was staring at him. I was like, what's that?" I was like, "What I gotta do to get that jacket?"
right,
Like, "You really want"
yeah,
and it was expensive, man.
yeah.
Back in the day, I was like,
Because
go ahead.
back then, people don't understand, like, jackets, because, like, kinda '90s, like, gang era, like, so I had a red Chicago Bulls starter jacket, like, when the starter jackets first came out, y'all, it was like, that was the hottest item, like, people were getting robbed and all sorts of stuff for starter jackets, but if you had a Bulls one, then you was, like, a blood back then, so, I'm walking around as a kid, not like I'm just, like, Jordaned up, red Jordan, you know what I'm saying? It's like people throwing like, whoa, 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 whoa. What's going on? Man, I'm just a fan of the team with the player and the shoes. You're like, no, I'm not trying to, you
Nah, but
know.
man, when I put that jacket on, man, I felt like I was Jordan. I was like,
Right, man. You just
man,
felt something. That's how it
I mean,
was when I put that Dion bandana, man. You just, tie the bandana, and these jerseys were my favorite, man, with the big stars, like, I just it's just how I grew,
and then
man. But I
yeah,
love it.
the other, shout out to mom. She hooked it up. I don't know how she did it, but she hooked it up. And then the other thing at the time was, when we were in school was the big thing, and if you didn't have these, you're getting played, man. You can't be rolling up with no Payless shoes or
Right.
because my mom be getting them Kmart shoes. I'm like, "Mom, I can't be wearing them Kmart shoes at the
Right.
school." So I was like, that's when the pumps came out.
Ah, yeah.
What I gotta do to get these pumps?
Right.
And oh man, when I got my first pair of pumps, man. I thought it was king shit on the court, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bro.
bro,
Like
like
Oh,
that's why
man.
our generation different because we had to fight for little stuff like our clothes, man. Like if you gonna wear these shoes to school, man, you better be ready to fight, man. Because you got some pumps, like the pumps where you can hit the little pump that would come in. And when those Shaq shoes came out, like yeah,
Oh,
you know, after Christmas, you go back to school with those brand new Jordans. You know, hey, we get those like
oh,
nah,
yeah.
bro. Like
That
you know, you gotta
Jordan
be ready to rumble. You gotta take
yeah,
those shoes.
Jordans was hard to get. Ooh
Yeah,
wee,
man.
man. It's like,
Yeah, good
you
times,
had to
bro.
save it for those things, man.
Right.
But, yeah, man, that's like so and then that's when, one of my friends was the Eagles fan. He had, like, the paper and stuff from
Hmm.
Philadelphia, and every day be like, "Hey, man, the Eagles did this, Eagles did that." I'm like, "Man, shut up, man. Let's just worry about school and stuff like
Right.
that." And it just started catching on, and then once in a while, I would see a Philadelphia Eagles game,
Hmm.
when Randall was playing. Of
Hmm.
course, the Cowboys was always on TV. That's my cousin.
Hmm.
We go at it. He's a Cowboys fan because that's all he's seen was Troy Aikman, and
Troy,
then
Aikman.
that's all
Yeah.
he's seen on TV. With
Stars bright.
and that's crazy, Matt. Um, I wanna start actually interviewing a Buffalo fan, man, because that's gonna be interesting for me, but shout out
Yeah.
to them, man. I mean, to be a Buffalo fan,
Yeah.
that's hardcore, man.
Yeah, and that's why one of my favorite things to do, you know, I'll be there this year as well, is go to the NFL draft because you get to see fans of teams you really don't get to see. You know, like you get to see a Bills fan or you get to see a Bengals fan in real, you know, like you really don't see them as much, man. So it's always kind of cool to get out amongst the NFL fans and you know, it's a cool time, bro.
Yeah, man, I don't know how we got down memory lane, but it was
Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
yeah, man. But like I said, it was fun because back then you didn't have to be so tight, like you know. Because like now, like the other day, my wife, you know, she got me an outfit and she bought me like this Miami Heat hat, you know, and it's so fire. But I'm like, I'm a Mavs fan. I can't wear that. She was like, you can wear. I'm like, I can't. You know, like we don't you know what I'm saying? And she didn't understand. But back in the day when you were a kid, you know, you just
Yeah.
throw on a hat, you know, and you
Oh,
have
yeah.
a Jordan jersey on and some Heat shorts, and, you know, like all sorts of stuff. But now, bro, like I couldn't be caught dead in the Eagle. When y'all caught me in the Eagles jersey, man, y'all, man, Cowboys
Yeah,
Nation, you'll be
that's
right.
like it's a trip because you see Allen Iverson wearing the Cowboy he's a Cowboys fan, and,
Right,
you'll see Snoop wearing all kinds of jerseys that,
right. Yeah,
you
no,
know,
I can't, I
when
can't,
you're
I
famous
can't do
like
that.
that,
Cowboys fans get mad at me when I'm like, man, I like Jalen. I like Jalen Hurts. Like, all right, never mind. Never mind. I'll shut up.
cut him now. But hey, J Tuck, I know you. I got one. I'm gonna. I don't know if you know Mondo from TikTok, so I got him coming up next.
Okay.
But hey, man, this is fun.
Yeah,
Great
man.
talking with you. I guess we just relax, enjoy the night, and pray for no injuries.
Yeah,
If
that's the main thing. No injuries, man. If it's 3-0 and no injuries, I'll tell you, just get out, bro. Like, you know, and that's
yeah,
the thing is like, you know,
yeah,
I was like, everyone's like, man, have you broken down film? I ain't broken down no
yeah,
film on the Eagles. Like, I ain't watched nothing. Like, I did zero research until like yesterday before we did the round table. Like, let me catch up and make sure, you know, what's going on. But it's like,
yeah.
yeah, it's just hard because I mean,
One
and
thing
it's
that
been a long regular season too, bro. Like,
yeah, and one thing I do hope for, and I hope it works out, man, is that I I I was saying this before we played Dallas. It's like I really want and hope that it could be like a Dak versus Jalen thing. Like I want them to both be. I mean, Dak's already established; he's already the competitor.
mhm.
But I need Jalen to do the same.
Mhm. They're cut from the same cloth. Like
Right.
Eagles fans, I'll say this: y'all just have to be patient, and it's crazy because you're always going to have this part of the fan base who just
Yeah.
doesn't like him because they don't like him. Like, hell, we're still dealing with that with Dak Prescott.
Oh
There's
yeah.
some people like, if we had Romo this year, imagine we were like, bro, like he's like 50.
If
So
we
you
had
know,
anything,
yeah, and but you could tell like last year, like even just from being the outside in, watching the Eagles under Carson versus watching under or Jalen, it's completely different because we've all played sports before. We just have that leadership guy that can get you up, that you rally around, and Jalen has that leadership quality. Like same thing with Dak. Like, he's the guy that you want to go to war for. I just don't think that was Carson Wentz. I think that's going to be Jalen Hurts. And so as long as they're patient, they build around him, you guys will be just fine. But we all know how fan bases can be when the noise gets so loud. They're just like, fine, fine, fine. We'll pull the trigger. But I think Jalen Hurts is your quarterback of the future, so it'll be fun.
yeah, and that's in a way I kind of do want to play Dallas, just because I want to see what we learned. You know,
Right.
what did you learn, Nick Sirianni? What did you learn, Jalen? Like,
Mhm.
I gotta see, you know, are we gonna go back to like, oh, what was me? I don't what was that thing?
Right.
You can't do
Right.
that stuff right now. So I really want to see it. But the main thing with Jordan Howard, I love Jordan Howard, but the injury thing, like I don't from what I saw against Washington wasn't enough for me to say like, oh, our running game, it is what it's back. You know,
Right.
you know, even with you guys, you're not really there right now with Zeke and Pollard because either
Right.
the coaching's going away from it or these guys are actually not that 100 right now. But
Mhm.
um, you know, it's gonna. I would love to see what they're gonna do, but we can't be scared of nobody. Same with
Right.
Dallas. You know, Dallas has a I believe Dallas is more prepared to handle what's coming in the playoffs than versus the Eagles because we're
Mhm.
still, you know, McCarthy. He's been around the block.
Right,
So
he's seen it. Mhm.
Sirianni, you know, I don't want to. I mean, for a rookie head coach to ask him to go to the NFC Champ. I mean that's a lot.
Right.
That's
Right.
a lot. Let's be. I'm not gonna sugarcoat nothing, but you know if he can get maybe a divisional, hey, that's awesome because you can take that experience with you and build on that next year.
Right.
You guys are playing for I believe a lot more than what the Eagles are.
Mhm.
We snuck through the back door. We're
Right, crept
we had
in.
room and we're taking some punch and stuff like that. So we'll accept it and we'll do what we can with it.
Right.
But more, I think what's more awesome is that Jalen Hurts is getting this, you know,
Experience.
start. You know,
Mhm.
can you imagine? I only saw Carson Wentz play 1 quarter of playoff football.
That's a good
That's
point.
oh
Yeah.
my god,
Yeah. You're about to see Jalen Hurts, well, I mean, knock on wood, but yeah, you're about to see Jalen Hurts play more
a
playoff
whole
football than yeah,
right.
and it's different, man. It's just different. So, like I said, I like Jalen Hurts. I mean, I wanted him in Dallas. I thought he was going to be our backup quarterback. I thought he
Ooh
was going to be
wee.
possible.
That's
So, I thought that was going to happen, but you guys swiped him from us. But
right.
yeah, you guys got a good one. He's just a leader that you can follow. Like, I feel like I would want to play harder for Jalen Hurts than I would for Carson Wentz. Like, bro, you're always hurt. You're kind, what I'm saying? Like, I feel like Jalen Hurts fits the Eagles' mold of toughness, his hard nose, get out the mud, blue collar type of
Yeah,
atmosphere versus Carson Wentz was kind of, pampered and baby a little bit. So
got the Texas swag over there, right?
yeah, a little swagger to him. So
All right, Jay, this has been fun. Good luck tonight. Let's hope
yeah, appreciate it.
no injuries,
Yeah,
knock on that wood, no sickness,
yeah,
and we'll
man.
see. We'll
We
get at each other on Twitter. We'll see what's up. But anytime you want me on your show, just hit me up, man. You know,
Absolutely. Appreciate it. Like I said, I thought this game might have meant a little bit more, so these conversations probably were a little bit different. That's how everyone was last night. They're like, fight. I'm like, bros, believe that in the fight. Like, we're both in the playoffs. Like, you know what I'm saying?
fight each
Like,
other.
we don't play each other, so none of our
I don't
stars are
like
really playing.
blue. I don't like
Yeah,
stars.
yeah, yeah. You're supposed no, you're being too nice. I'm like, oh, bro. All right. So, but yeah, man, thanks for having me on. And likewise, man, we'll definitely do it again, man. But like I said, we'll play tonight and hopefully no injuries. But keep doing your thing, man. And incredible job. And I see you on TikTok, Instagram. You're hustling, man. So that's what it's all about, bro.
Yeah. All
Pursuing your
right, Jay.
passion. All right. Peace, everyone.
Stay safe.